All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible novels of the 20th century, Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children. It's this epic, sprawling story about a man whose life is, quite literally, handcuffed to the history of his nation.
You know, this single line from the book, it just says it all. It nails the huge scope and ambition of the story. We're talking about a life that isn't just shaped by history, it's completely, totally inseparable from it.
Which brings us to the big question Rushdie is asking here. I mean, just think about it. What if your personal biography, every single win, every heartbreaking loss, was a direct mirror for the birth and chaotic life of a brand new country?
To really get our heads around that, we have to start at the very beginning, with a fateful birth, an entry into the world that lines up perfectly with a nation's own.
So meet our narrator, Saleem Sinai. And get this, he isn't just born in a newly independent India, he is born with it. His very first breath happens at the exact same second the nation is born, locking their fates together from that moment on.
And this is where things get really intense. Saleem isn't just casually telling his story. No, he is in a desperate race against time. His body is physically falling apart, literally cracking under the weight of containing all this history. He has to get the story out before he completely disintegrates.
But here's the thing. Saleem's story, a lot like India's, kicks off with a massive secret, an act that completely messes with his identity and his entire destiny from day one.
Everyone in the press is celebrating Saleem as this big symbol of the new nation, the lucky son of a wealthy family. But here comes the twist. What if the boy who was destined to mirror India wasn't the one everyone thought he was?
The truth is, two boys were born at that exact midnight moment, and their lives were secretly swapped. It creates this powerful, dramatic contrast. Saleem, who is born poor, gets raised in luxury, while Shiva, the actual heir, grows up in the slums. This one act of secret rebellion sends their lives on a collision course.
So how on earth did this happen? Well, it was a private act of revolution by a midwife named Mary Pereira. See, her socialist lover had filled her head with ideas about class equality, so she switches the name tags. But the guilt just eats her alive, so she dedicates her entire life to being Saleem's nanny, always there, silently watching over the secret she created.
Okay, so Saleem's connection to his country goes way beyond just a coincidence of his birth. It becomes something truly magical. At that moment of independence, it wasn't just Saleem and Shiva. Nope. In that first hour, 1,001 children were born all across India. A whole generation, all tied to the fate of the nation.
And here is the heart of the book's magical realism. Every single one of these kids is born with some kind of special, unique power. Their abilities are all over the place, reflecting the wild hopes and chaotic dreams of this new India. It's like the sheer force of a nation being born just zapped an entire generation with these impossible gifts.
And the powers are just incredible. Saleem develops telepathy, plus a nose so sensitive he can literally smell emotions. His rival Shiva gets these massive, powerful knees that give him superhuman strength, making him a natural-born fighter. And then you have others, like Parvati the witch, who can do actual magic.
But this magical generation is incredibly fragile. By the time they turn 10, almost half of them are already gone. It's a pretty stark reminder of the hardships and high mortality rates in the young country.
Saleem actually tries to unite them all. He creates this telepathic parliament in his own mind called the Midnight's Children Conference. But in the end, it completely collapses. The children bring all their real-world baggage, their prejudices about caste, religion, language, into this mental space, and it proves that even magic can't fix those deep human divisions.
And this right here leads us to the absolute core of the novel. The way Saleem's personal life becomes this uncanny, direct mirror of national history. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's staggering. During the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War, Saleem's entire family is killed. In the chaos right after, he gets hit on the head and gets amnesia, a personal loss of memory that mirrors the national turmoil. Then he's forced into the army during the brutal war for Bangladesh's independence. And then, the most devastating blow of all, Indira Gandhi's emergency. Civil liberties are suspended, and Saleem and all the other Midnight's children are rounded up, captured, and forcibly sterilized. Their powers, their future, their potential, it's all surgically destroyed.
So you see, Saleem and his generation, they're not just citizens of India. They are its metaphorical mirror. Their hopes are the nation's hopes, and their destruction is the nation's tragedy.
So after all that destruction, what's left? This brings us to the end of the story.
and this desperate, last-ditch effort to preserve a history before it disappears for good.
When the emergency is finally over, the children are released, but they're broken. They're just ordinary people now. Their magic, their promise, it's all gone. Forever.
Saleem, now free, eventually makes his way back to Bombay, and this is where everything comes full circle. He finds Mary Pereira, yep, the same woman who swapped him at birth, and she now runs a pickle factory. And it's right there, with his loyal friend Padma as his audience, that he begins to tell his incredible story.
And this setting gives us one of the book's most famous and brilliant ideas, chutnification. It's this amazing metaphor for storytelling itself, right? Just like Mari preserves fruit in her pickle jars, Saleem now has to preserve his life and the life of his nation in stories. For a country with a history like India's, this isn't just about being nostalgic, it's a crucial act of taking back your own story, of pickling memory and words so it doesn't get lost or twisted over time.
And so, as his 31st birthday approaches, which is also India's 31st anniversary of independence, Saleem finally finishes his tale. He's done it. He has pickled his history in words just as his body finally gives out and crumbles into millions of tiny specks of dust.
Which leaves us with this huge, profound question. If a person's body is basically a map of an entire country, what happens when they fall apart? Does the nation crumble right along with them? Or does the story they leave behind become the one thing that truly lasts?